What's up guys, it's Missy. I am back with another SimCity Buildit design video. So the last video, this is right where we left off, and I was just kind of messing around with some of this stuff, trying to show you guys different ways that you can start designing. And we ran out of time. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple more things, and then I'm going to do your city reviews. So there's road patterns like we talked about here. Now, we did the main stream and kind of like how to shape everything. But let's say that you wanted to do like a big body of water, okay? Let's move this for a minute. Okay, trying to make some room here. All right. Now, so you want a big body of water, but you don't know like where you want it to go. So let's say that you wanted like a big ocean, let's just say that, or like a big lake, a big, lake, a huge lake. So you would start obviously filling in the water here. Okay. All right. Now, what you need to figure out when you do your big bodies of water is, do you want anything at all in the water whatsoever? Do you want, trees or whatever? And if so, then you might want to leave, spaces for that. But one of the things that a lot of people do is they try to make their water way too perfect. Even if it is going to be like a lake or whatever, you could try to make it kind of look weirdly shapen, to make it look a little more natural. Sometimes people are going for the more pristine look, which is fine. I just don't care much for that look, so I just never designed that way. But everybody's got their own thing. So once you get the outline of it, then you can worry about like the middle, but worry more about like the outline. So like, let's say that this was a lake and you wanted to put houses around the lake. Well, if you want to put houses around a lake, there's a couple ways. So you draw your road here, right? And then you have your house. See how the road is right in front of the water and it looks like shit? If you wanted to have property around the water, what you would want to do is you want to draw your road. Okay, so start there. Draw your dash or whatever. Put that there. Okay. Now, when it's mountain homes, it's a little bit easier. So let's say this is the way you would do it. So you would go like that, and then you would take the dash of road, and you would venture off from there. So you would say, okay, which way do you want to go? If you wanted to go in a circle around the lake, you want to go the back way. You don't want it to be visible to people. So let's say that you did that, and you did like that. Okay, so let's say you did something like this. Now, with mountain homes, it would look a lot better. But this would be your outlet to connecting it to the main area, right? So let's say that that is where you put in your bridge. Okay. So that's your main connect to the road. Now what you could do is you could scoot this over and block all this off, and then you don't see any of it, right? Now you could fill this in with trees like this, and you wouldn't really see any of the stuff at all, and it would just be kind of, you see what I'm saying? Now, if you wanted to continue, what you could do say, okay, let's scoot this over one, and let's say that you did this, and then you had it go, let's say you went that way with it. Okay, so now you have another spot of road that you can utilize. So you're going to move the trees. Okay. Now you can fill this in if you want. But more importantly, these little pieces of road are ways for you to kind of branch off and do bridges if you want, or you don't have to. Obviously, you can do whatever, but the ends here where you've got these little pieces of road, those are outlets that you can either utilize to extend your housing, down the roadway. So like let's say you wanted to go the other direction with it, right? And you've got this area here. So you can take this, hold on. Like how do you want to go in a circle around the lake, right? And you're trying to make the roads as, discreet as possible. So let's say that you went like right like that. That's one way you could do it. And then go like that. And then like that. Now let's say you went like that. And you're just kind of working your way around in a circle here. Okay, so like this. Now, let's say you did this way. Okay, let's say you did something like this, okay? And you put a bridge here. Okay. Alright, so now you're going to start going this way with it. And you wanted to, hang on. Okay, now you've got this general shape, right? Once you fill it in with trees, the picture becomes a lot better, right? So like if you continue on and you move the trees around to fit the shape of the buildings, this jagged style edge, that you're seeing here is not going to be that way depending on the way that you put in the trees. So the good thing about the trees is like once you have the houses in a certain shape or whatever, you can shape the lake whatever way you want because you're putting the trees on the side without the road, which makes it so much easier. So like, for example, here how you see in between the trees, that I do not recommend. I would recommend putting something, like more dense right here. And maybe going like downward with this. And then what you can do I'll show you guys. Hold on. See these little squares, how they're not quite filled in? Those are open spaces. They just look like they're filled in. So I usually try to put like a pair of trees together like that. So like that, right? Now here, see how we have this open roadway? We can either move this water or we can say, okay, we have some of these buildings where you actually put them on the side with the road. Where is that? I think it's landscape. So like here we've got this floating restaurant thing that apparently is a pain in the ass. But let's say we put that there, okay? We could, which I really don't like. So what I would do is I would take this out and I would take this and I would move it right about there. No, right about there. Okay, now I would go with something like, where's that park? I would either do that or, hold on, there's that. Some of these entertainment buildings are universal, like, okay, the Ferris wheel, for example. Now, what you could do is break through and have the water go underneath this bridge here. Or, let's say we did... This is a universal building, like that. Okay, this is that water park thing. This thing's kind of cool. So you could, let's see. Let's say you went with the water park and you decided to put that there. Now you have the water running to the bridge here, but you don't want it to look 100% straight. So right here would be a good spot to put like one of the palm trees because they kind of droop over like that. And then see how they kind of, okay, see how we're missing water in some of these areas? Or, yeah, well, water. what we can do is we're going to do thinner trees because we want it to kind of fill it in, but we don't want it to block off everything. So let's see. Let's go with that. Hang on. That one. And then we'll take, because that, see how it doesn't look good there? So we're going to fill that in, and then we'll go with probably that one. Okay. So that's a little bit too thin. It's showing too much of the ground, I think. So we'll go with something like this. All right. Now, we're just going to keep working our way around. What's that? Oh, that's a palm tree. Okay. So try to use the more dense trees, or like try to color code it for things. You know, like if it's bright stuff, try to use dark trees or vice versa. Okay. We have this Ferris wheel here. Now, what we could do is take this. Let's try something here. Let's move this. And then we'll do okay. So like that, you can't really see the road, but even if you could, we can fix that, and then put something on the back side. We can also put like something maybe behind the Ferris wheel on this road if we wanted. So just kind of experiment with it and see if you can add stuff in certain places. So like, see how the edges, it just looks weird with the edges like that. So just, I usually try to scoot something over like a notch, down a notch, or over a notch like that. And then go with something kind of colorful maybe, like that. Okay. So we wanted to go with something that was kind of like a big lake or whatever. But let's say that you wanted to fill in the rest of this stuff with like houses. That would be where you would shape the water. So if you went with like this, and that way you didn't just have water kind of going everywhere. You see what I'm saying? Now, you could stop the houses here and do kind of like a waterfront if you wanted. Let's see. like something like that, so that it looked, not obviously that, but, and then you could put, if you wanted to, you can actually branch these houses outward if you want, kind of like what you've been doing, you know. Go like, you'd have to go up a notch. Hold on. So you'd have to move this piece of water. And that would be one way you could connect the road to the Ferris wheel if you wanted from here. Or you could just continue on, or you could say, okay, I'm going to draw the road like this. Put a house there, which I wouldn't recommend doing, but I would probably just go like that, and maybe even if you went up one notch, then you would put the bridge and you would take this. Okay. Now, this is a good example of where filler trees would go because you don't see this. So just put something cheap there, like even water or whatever, like that. Just something cheap. Okay. Then obviously you would want water here. Scoot that over. Okay, so you could put a house here. And then fill that in if you want. Now imagine if you were to do this, you could kind of go this way with it. You could say, okay, I want to break through right here and have the two connect and do it like a second lake if you want. But obviously you could do whatever you wanted up front here. I would not do that. I would probably do something like way more flashy if I was actually taking this a little bit more seriously. Okay. Now, probably, let's see. Like, put something tall here. Yeah, I would never draw it like that. I would probably have it go like, what the hell? Oh. Okay. That's probably something more like what I would do. And then I would probably take out this lake and just do the pond. put that there and then do the okay. So I usually try to be kind of OCD with it, you know, trying to make it look semi-decent. Like if I put one thing on one side, I usually try to put it on the other. But you guys get the gist of it. That's just one way for you to kind of go around the water, but at least the water is contained. It's not just flowing everywhere. Now, what you would want to do, like here, let's say because this house is here, we would move this house and then we would be able to wrap the water up to here and then around if we want. But that's how you would break through. You would just move like one thing here, one thing there. You wouldn't worry too much about moving everything just to make one small adjustment, right? And so like, let's say that you were to do that, you would try to leave some space for trees, connect there. Even if you didn't use a lake, you could go like that and then put whatever you have to put there, maybe parks, trees, whatever. Try to put stuff up here if you want, you know, going the other way with it. Leaving this space more open, and then you could break this off and put a bigger bridge and just have it dump down. All right, let's go to somebody else's map here, and I want to see what they got going on. But that's just one way, you know, but that's the point, is to kind of, when I tell you guys to start at one point and then work your way over, that's what I mean by that. Okay, so yesterday he took apart a lot of his map, and it appears that, okay, let's see. So right here, it looks a lot better. Actually, a lot better than what it did yesterday. It's kind of rounded off a little perfectly with the way that the water is, you know, two apart. But like in the middle, it's not so perfect. This little circle area here, I would probably actually have maybe this dip down a little bit, or maybe it'll look a little different once he puts, you know, stuff here. But honestly, it looks really good the way that it is, because of the fact that he stopped with the, so what his city was before was right here, it had this island, and then it was almost perfect, and it had this other island, and then another island. But now it's a little different. Like this island is a little shorter, this one's totally different shape. You know, he's got this one up here. So he's definitely doing different shapes, which is a lot better. He will need to figure out what he's going to do with his shops, but I think with his map, what would look good would be if he was to do the same thing with his shops that he's doing with his houses and put trees and water around them, and then maybe do like something right here in the center as the main attraction. I don't know what specifically, but you know, I don't know what he's got going on over here just yet, but I think for him what he needs to focus on the most is this part of his map first. Just even if he has to jam everything that he owns into this part of the map to make it look good, worry about this part of the map and then worry about the rest, right? Because right now this is what looks the best. Like this area here, I would say looks the best. It honestly looks very familiar. It looks a lot like my map with the this here, which I'm not really sure. He's got the bridge going offset, which is kind of odd. I don't know if he meant to do that or what, but it does look good. It looks really good. I would probably, if I was him, figure out where he wants to go with his water. That's more importantly, figuring out where he wants to go with the water. Does he want 3 waterfalls? Does he want 2? Does he want none? What does he want? Because he's got these 2 areas here that are branching off, going upward. And then he's got this one that kind of loops around. And then it looks like he's going to go this way with the water. So he's got at least 3 points of water. He's got to figure out where he's going. Then he's got the one here at the delta. And then it looks like he might do another breakdown, but maybe not. You know, it would look actually probably pretty good if he didn't put any water in this area here. Right, kind of like what Obso did at the front of his map, but if he was to keep all of this just land style stuff, and then if he was to do kind of the same thing up here, but with like a half moon, and then bring the water to one main point here instead of doing one that goes up this way. Or let me think, because it looks like he's going to wrap the water around here, right? At least for this area. So right here on this part, I would probably, if I was him, figuring out, like once he leaves this general area here, he could do something really cool here with the spaces that he has open. He could do like one big design of trees. He could do, you know, one big design of houses. Let's see. I like his building stuff. I mean, of course, it's like a lot like mine, but he's gotten a lot better at making stuff look more natural than so perfect. The only part that looks any kind of perfect would be this area here, the way that the water is. But honestly, it works because he's got this area up here kind of, you know, going offward. I guess the only thing that really seems off is that, like, this looks excellent, but this seems like it should be further back, and that there should be something here, or that he should push the shops forward and do kind of like a waterfront with something. Or I used to have some houses going up here at the front of my city. It'll be interesting to kind of see what he does, but I do like I like all this stuff. I don't like the road that's drawn right here. This road doesn't need to be here. That needs to go away. But all this stuff looks really, really good. I like that. I like the little princess castle here. I think what he's trying to do is make it look like it's got, I don't know, like a dock going to it maybe. I would probably put another tree right between the yellow and the green there. No, I see why he didn't. Yeah, I would just scoot this over a notch because it needs a little more water between here and that cobblestone bridge. I really like what he did with the castle here. This looks really good. This I would fix because he's got the trees going up against the roadway, which I guess is okay, but this particular building isn't all that glamorous. I would probably put this house here, the one over, maybe up front and doing something totally different as a display here, like a casino, like kind of like this, but a different casino maybe, or maybe a weird like education building or something else. I don't know. What's that? What's he got there? Okay, so like this here, this would be really good to put. I think he has the purple one too for the parade, but that would be really good to put like up front with a display up here, or honestly right here on this side of the thing. If he had a road that would go around, that would be kind of cool. It'll be interesting, like I said, to see what he does with it. What he could do here is have one stream go straight back and one stream go to the right, or he could just have it loop right around the back side of these couple houses and then go over to the right and then just have the rest of this land. All right, let's go to Obso's map real quick. So with his map, I really like what he did up front. It looks really, really good. This road here that has all of these trees in front of it, I would bulldoze that and probably actually maybe take the road up a notch where this tree is and put like a dash here and then maybe put a bridge here and then, you know, make it to where it meets up with this bridge here, or try to scramble up this road a little bit, because like the way that it is with these trees and how long it is, this is kind of a waste. It's a huge waste, not only of space but a road. I would definitely try to figure that out for sure. I do like how you have the bridge, you know, with it, and it kind of goes off to the side, and how this is, you know, like a little island. But I would definitely try to get that island complete, figuring out what you want to put there, maybe houses or parks or whatever the case is. Then figuring out where you want this river here with this Plumbob Bridge, where you want it to go, because it seems like it's kind of like what's happening is the water is shaping the land isn't shaping the water. And that's what you don't want to do. You want to have your land outline your water, not your water outline your land. Otherwise, it just looks like a flood, right? And I had made that mistake on my limestone map, and it just looks terrible. Not to mention it costs a lot in water. So definitely try to figure out where you want to go with that. But more importantly, working on one area. Like I said, don't work on too many areas at once. Like, for example, you know, this area here with the land, it looks really, really good. Now, what you should do is figuring out, like, what it is that you're really wanting your city to look like, because right now, the problem is that you're working in one tiny corner, right? And normally you would work from a center point, like a centerpiece or the main attraction of your city or whatever the case is. Normally you wouldn't start like in the corner, right? If you were going to start in the corner, like I said, you would start like as at the waterfront or something. I think for you, it looks like you're kind of going for something similar with like what Sydney has with the trees and the water the way that they are. But it almost looks like he wants more water than he does land. And if that's the case, what he should do is try the best that you can to limit your roads, because you have a tendency to draw really, really, really long ass roads. Those are not only going to be a pain in the ass when it comes to, upgrading if you ever did decide you wanted to upgrade your roads, but also trying to like hide them because they're ugly. You're gonna need a lot more stuff, but more importantly, the fact that it just looks like shit when you do that. So try to break down the roads a little bit and try to make everything not so boxy. Like I've noticed with a lot of your building style, it's everything's straight. You know what I'm saying? Like your trees are straight. Everything is just perfect, if that makes sense. Like down here, this looks really good because it's not just straight. But here is shaped. The water and the trees and the land, it's all got a actual shape to it. Whereas like up here, see this? It's like one line, one line, one line, one line. Like you drew like your trees right along the road. You didn't like jumble it up a little bit. But all in all, what you could do or should do is try to take these three things and stick them together. And if you did, maybe have like it separated a little bit in the middle, or maybe not at all. I think you should focus more on where you're going to put your shops and maybe doing like one little thing at a time. So like right here, maybe outline what you want to do right along this water line here, and then work on what you're going to do in the center, because I know that you said that you want a centerpiece. So if you want a centerpiece, start there. Start that as your starting point, like with a diamond or with a heart or with a star or with a circle or whatever the case is. Just start it at the starting point. And what you could do, what might look really good on your map, is if you were to go dead center and place a maxis and then have a huge city right in the center, and then have it surrounded with water like in a big circle, and then have all of the trees and things like that kind of going around it. Or you could just do it in like sections or whatever the case may be. Like I said, you guys, if you see anything on the global market, try to take pictures of that to get some ideas. I will show you guys my cactus map real quick for those of you who didn't see it in the first video, because I finished it, but I mean, I'm going to be redoing it, so I wanted to go ahead and show you guys what I did to it, and then I'm going to be tearing it apart and redoing it. So, alright, let's see. I did do the big heart with the two little hearts, and then I kind of filled everything in. I kept the services along the back wall kind of hidden, so I didn't have to look at it. But this is the gist of it. So I did the peace sign, which I'm thinking what might be really cool for a city. Imagine a huge ass peace sign, like I mean huge, right? And then putting like city in the one section, animals in one section, and then maybe like entertainment in one section, like Ferris wheel or something. What I did was I put all these animals here, and then I put some of the epics along the back. I did this as kind of like a animal education square type thing. Honestly, there's some things I would change about it if I could, I can, I guess, but honestly, a lot of it is just, I really want to get my capital, like, done, and a lot of the stuff that would look good on these maps is on my capital, so I don't want to tear apart my capital to have this. But I did put the number 4 here in the heart, because that's my favorite number. Well, 13 is my favorite number, but 4 is right up there. Okay, these here, this is my favorite regional epic. For those of you who were wondering, that is the Cactus Regional Epic. And that pretty much is it. That's what I got going on for this map. So, alright you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I got some other stuff I got to do today, but I will be probably doing a design stream tomorrow. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.